Hey everyone! Today, I'm thrilled to share 5 life-changing habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. Yes, you heard that right, 1 week. It might sound almost too good to be true, but trust me, these habits aren't your run-of-the-mill tips you hear everywhere. These are real, raw, and honest habits that I personally integrated into my daily routine, and the results were nothing short of amazing. If you're looking to boost productivity, improve your mental health, or just make a positive change in your everyday life, these habits can help you get there. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because these habits aren't just theoretical. They're practical, actionable steps you can start implementing today. Plus, I'll be sharing personal stories and insights from my own journey, giving you a raw and honest look at how these habits worked for me. Habit 1, waking up early. Let's kick things off with the first habit, waking up early. I'll be completely honest, I was never a morning person. My bed was my best friend, and I hit the snooze button more times than I can count. Mornings were a chaotic rush, and I often felt like I was starting my day on the wrong foot. But one day, I decided to give waking up early a genuine shot, and let me tell you, it was a game changer. I started by setting my alarm for 5 a.m. The first few days were nothing short of brutal. I remember dragging myself out of bed, feeling groggy, and wondering if this was really worth it. But I pushed through, and by the 3rd day, something incredible started happening. I began to appreciate the quiet and stillness of the early morning hours. There was something almost magical about being up before the rest of the world, when everything was calm and peaceful. With these extra hours in the morning, I found time for things I never seemed to have time for before. I started my day with a bit of light exercise, nothing too intense, just some stretching or a short jog around the neighborhood. This not only woke me up, but also energized me for the rest of the day. I also spent some time meditating and setting my intentions for the day. These few moments of mindfulness made a huge difference in my overall mindset and productivity. Another surprising benefit of waking up early was that I no longer felt rushed. I had ample time to enjoy a healthy breakfast, sip my coffee slowly, and plan out my day. This unrushed start set a positive tone for the entire day. I was more organized, less stressed, and felt a greater sense of control over my time. One personal experience that stands out was the morning I watched the sunrise from my balcony. It was a simple yet profoundly beautiful moment. As the sky changed colors and the world slowly woke up, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and peace. It was in that moment that I truly understood the power of waking up early. Now, waking up early might not be for everyone, but I encourage you to give it a try, even if it's just for a week. Start with just 15 minutes earlier than your usual wake-up time and gradually increase it. You might be surprised at how much of a positive impact it can have on your life. It's not just about having more hours in the day, but about using those hours to create a more mindful, intentional, and fulfilling start to your day. Habit 2, daily exercise. Moving on to habit number 2, daily exercise. To be upfront, I wasn't always the most active person. I used to find every excuse in the book to avoid working out. I'm too tired, I don't have time, or I'll start tomorrow. Sound familiar? But one day, I decided enough was enough. I made a commitment to move my body every single day for a week, and the results were nothing short of incredible. I started small with just 20 minutes a day, mixing it up between yoga, jogging, and strength training. I wanted to keep it interesting, so I wouldn't get bored and quit halfway through. The first few days were tough, my muscles were sore, and I felt exhausted. But I reminded myself why I was doing this, to feel better both physically and mentally. By the 4th day, something amazing happened. I woke up feeling more energized, my mood had improved drastically, and I was less irritable and more positive. I realized that those 20 minutes of exercise weren't just about burning calories or building muscle. They were about giving myself time to focus on me, to release stress, and to boost my endorphins. One morning, I remember lacing up my sneakers for a jog. It was a crisp, clear day, and as I ran, I felt a sense of freedom and clarity that I hadn't experienced in a long time. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts. That sense of connection to myself and the world around me was truly empowering. I also started to see physical changes. My posture improved, I felt stronger, and I noticed a difference in my overall fitness. But the biggest change was in my mindset. Exercise became my time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with myself. It became a form of self-care rather than a chore. Another personal highlight was trying yoga for the first time. I was hesitant at first, thinking I wasn't flexible enough, or that it wouldn't be a real workout, but after a few sessions, I fell in love with it. Yoga taught me to be present, to breathe deeply, and to listen to my body. It was a transformative experience that went beyond the physical benefits. Incorporating daily exercise into my routine made me realize that taking care of my body directly impacted my mental health and overall happiness. It's not about being perfect or pushing yourself to extremes. It's about finding a form of movement that you enjoy and making it a regular part of your life. So if you're like I was and struggling to get started, my advice is to start small. Find something you enjoy, whether it's dancing, hiking, or even just a brisk walk. Commit to just a few minutes a day and gradually build up from there. Trust me, the benefits you'll experience will be well worth the effort. It's a habit that has the power to change not just your body, but your entire outlook on life. Habit 3, journaling. Habit number 3 is journaling. I used to think journaling was just for people who had loads of free time or were naturally introspective. I was skeptical. I mean, who has time to sit down and write about their day when there's so much going on? But a week of consistent journaling completely shifted my perspective, and it became a cornerstone of my personal growth journey. I started simple. Every night before bed, I dedicated just 10 minutes to journaling. I bought a plain notebook and a pen that felt comfortable in my hand. No fancy apps, no pressure to make it look pretty, just me and my thoughts. The first night, I stared at the blank page, unsure of what to write. But then I began with something basic. How my day went, what made me happy, and what I struggled with. As the days went by, I started to dive deeper. I wrote about my goals, my fears, my dreams, and even my insecurities. It was like having a conversation with myself, and that's when the magic happened. I began to notice patterns in my thoughts and behaviors. I realized that some of the things I worried about were completely out of my control, while others were areas where I could take actionable steps. One night, I remember writing about a particularly stressful day at work. By putting my thoughts on paper, I was able to process my emotions better. I wrote about what specifically stressed me out, how it made me feel, and what I could do differently next time. This simple act of reflection helped me gain clarity and feel more in control of my emotions. Another powerful aspect of journaling was tracking my progress. I noted down small victories and milestones, no matter how minor they seemed. Looking back at these entries filled me with a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to keep pushing forward. For instance, I wrote about a presentation I was nervous about and how I prepared for it. Seeing my preparation process and the positive outcome documented in my journal was incredibly encouraging. I also started a gratitude section in my journal. Every day, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. This practice shifted my focus from what was lacking in my life to appreciating what I already had. It was a simple yet profound shift that brought more positivity into my daily life. One particularly memorable entry was about a random act of kindness I experienced. A stranger helped me when I was struggling with my grocery bags. Writing about this act of kindness not only made me feel grateful, but also inspired me to pay it forward. Through journaling, I discovered a lot about myself, my desires, my fears, my strengths, and my weaknesses. It became a form of therapy, a way to untangle the complex web of thoughts and emotions that we all carry around. It provided a safe space where I could be completely honest with myself without fear of judgment. If you've never tried journaling, I highly encourage you to start. Don't worry about writing perfectly or having profound thoughts. Just write whatever comes to mind. It could be a stream of consciousness, a recap of your day, or reflections on a specific event. Give yourself the freedom to express whatever you're feeling, and you might be surprised at how much clarity and peace it brings into your life. Remember, it's not about what you write, but about the act of writing itself and the insights it can offer. Habit 4, mindful eating. Next up is mindful eating. I used to eat on the go, barely paying attention to what I was consuming. Meals were often rushed, and I rarely took the time to savor my food. But when I decided to incorporate mindful eating into my routine for a week, it was a revelation. I began by setting a dedicated space for my meals. I created a pleasant dining environment, even if it was just a small table in my kitchen. I removed distractions like my phone and TV, and I took a few deep breaths before starting my meal. This simple practice transformed my eating experience. I began to truly savor each bite, paying attention to the flavors, textures, and aromas of my food. I also made a conscious effort to listen to my body's hunger cues. Instead of eating out of habit or boredom, I ate when I was truly hungry and stopped when I was satisfied. This practice helped me develop a healthier relationship with food. One memorable experience was having a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. I took my time, enjoying every spoonful, and it became a moment of mindfulness and gratitude. I appreciated the effort it took to prepare the meal and the nourishment it provided. Mindful eating also had unexpected benefits. I noticed that I felt more satisfied with smaller portions, and I became more aware of how different foods made me feel. I began making more conscious choices about what I ate, opting for whole, nutritious foods that made me feel good. I also found that eating slowly and mindfully helped with digestion and reduced feelings of bloating or discomfort. Another aspect of mindful eating was practicing gratitude for my meals. I took a moment to reflect on where the food came from, the effort involved in its preparation, and the nourishment it provided. This practice brought a sense of appreciation and mindfulness to each meal, turning it from a routine task into a meaningful experience. If you haven't tried mindful eating, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Start with one meal a day, where you focus on being present and fully engaged with your food. It's not just about what you eat, but how you eat it. By making meals a mindful practice, you might find yourself more connected to your food, more aware of your body's needs, and more appreciative of the simple act of eating. Habit 5. Limiting screen time. The fifth habit is limiting screen time. In our digital age, it's so easy to get caught up in endless scrolling, binge watching, and digital distractions. I realized that my screen time was affecting my mental health, productivity, and even my relationships. So I decided to set a limit of 1 hour per day for non-work-related screen time, and the impact was profound. I started by tracking how much time I spent on my phone and computer for leisure. The results were eye-opening. I was spending several hours a day mindlessly scrolling through social media or watching videos. I decided to implement a 1 hour limit, which initially felt restrictive. But soon, I discovered that this limitation opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Without the constant pull of my screen, I found extra time to rediscover hobbies and interests that I had neglected. I started reading books, picking up old hobbies like painting, and even exploring nature. One memorable day was spent at a local cafe with just a notebook and pen. It was a peaceful, productive experience, free from the interruptions of digital notifications. I found myself more focused and engaged in the moment, and it was a refreshing change. Limiting screen time also had a significant impact on my sleep. I noticed that I fell asleep faster and slept more soundly without the blue light from screens interfering with my circadian rhythm. My mental health improved as well. I felt less anxious and overwhelmed, and I had more time to connect with friends and family in meaningful ways. Another unexpected benefit was rediscovering the joy of being present in the moment. I started paying more attention to my surroundings, engaging in conversations without distractions, and enjoying activities without constantly checking my phone. It was liberating to disconnect and experience life more fully. If you're struggling with screen time, try setting some boundaries. Start with small, manageable limits and gradually adjust them based on what works best for you. You might find that disconnecting from screens allows you to reconnect with yourself and the world around you in ways you never imagined. That wraps up our journey through the 7 habits that dramatically changed my life in just 1 week. Each of these habits has the power to create significant positive changes in your life, and I truly believe they can work for anyone, regardless of your current lifestyle or circumstances. If you've been inspired by any of these habits, I encourage you to give them a try. Start with 1 or 2, and gradually incorporate more into your routine. Remember, it's not about achieving perfection, but about making progress and creating meaningful transformations over time. I'd love to hear about your experiences with these habits. Drop a comment below and share which habit you're thinking of adopting or any questions you might have. Your stories and feedback are incredibly valuable, and they help create a supportive community of people striving for positive change. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future content. Sharing this video with friends or family who might benefit from these habits could make a huge difference in their lives. Let's spread positivity and support each other on this journey of self-improvement. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, small changes can lead to big results. Let's keep growing, evolving, and turning our everyday routines into powerful moments of self-improvement. See you in the next video. Stay awesome, everyone.